So far away, Nisha, I'm taking that risk. I'm drinking coffee and wearing a white t-shirt.
That obviously means you're going to spill it at some point.
Don't say that. Put the clip in of me doing exactly that now.
Okay, Karl.
Oh, no, Luke. Oh, God.
Oh, okay.
Lucas, I went to take a sip of coffee and I'm wearing a white t-shirt.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Oh, God, no! If there are 4 things people know about the Addams Family, it's that they're creepy, kooky, mysterious, and dare I say it, a little bit spooky. Something epitomised by the Addamses' palatial spook mansion seen in all forms of media in which they appear. A house that was, at least in the original television series, bright pink, largely because set dressers didn't give a fuck.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're on about the original Addams Family TV show that was filmed in black and white.
Yes, it was, and people out there are probably thinking, well, if it was filmed in black and white, of course they didn't give a shit about the colour. It's black and white, you can't see colour. So why would you care what colour things are on frame? And Nisha, as someone who has a better background in film than myself, that notion's not exactly true, is it?
Well, no, because like different colours give off different tones.
And the easiest way to demonstrate this is, of course, with an example. So, folks at home, you can see behind me a picture right here of the kind of makeup that had to be worn by people during the earliest days of broadcasting. And Nisha, you can see that photo too, yes?
Yeah, and she kind of looks like she's a zombie with the makeup that she's wearing.
She's got bright green skin and like pallid under eye makeup on. But if we take the image right here and we make it look like it would during old broadcasts, by which I mean like turn the contrast all the way up, put it in black and white and then whack the lightness up on there, it starts to look like, you know, a traditional black and white image. The same cannot be said if we take a picture of, I don't know, my face and do the exact same thing we just did to this image to that. And this is one of those weird things from broadcasting history that I don't think a lot of people know, that almost every actor and actress you see in really old black and white broadcasts was in all likelihood wearing bright red and blue makeup, because that's the makeup that made the skin tone look, oddly enough, more natural when the footage was aired in black and white. And that's so strange, isn't it? And there is an old horror film, the name of which escapes me at the moment, but will no doubt be below me in a fact bar, where they took advantage of the fact everyone wore blue and red makeup to achieve probably one of the earliest and most impressive special effects ever seen on film. I don't mean an early film, I mean ever, because what they did is they put an actress in red and blue makeup that made her look like an old hag. And what they did is put a piece of plastic over the camera lens that filtered out blue and red light.
Yeah.
Which obviously doesn't matter to the final film, because it's in black and white, it doesn't really fucking matter, there's no colour anyway. But when you pull that away in front of the camera, you get this effect. It's also interesting to know the amount of thought that goes into stuff that at first glance seems so obvious. For example, this show you're watching right now is only filmed in front of this admittedly very crude green screen for one real reason, and that reason is what, Nisha? Because you've told me this and I always forget.
Yeah, it's because like the human skin has like very pinkish tones and it's like very opposite to green, so it's really easy to key out green.
And even though we use minimal editing in these videos in regards to what I look like, I will still get, when I post photos on Instagram and stuff, people saying that I look different than I do in videos because the lighting's so different. It's like even things like that can dramatically change what a person looks like. So for example, a photo of me outside with more natural light, you can see more features on my face, which makes me look older, which is something that really pisses me off. Every time I ever take a fucking photo, I always get comments, you look so much older in this photo than you do in your video. It's like, because I'm washed out to all fuck, you can't see anything besides like just the basic features of my face. But to get back to the video topic at hand, when you are filming in black and white, you somewhat ironically have to pay close attention to the colour of everything you are filming, due to the fact that not every colour looks good when put into black and white, which leads us to the Addams Family.
Okay, so what's this about them having a bright pink house?
Well, we could take a picture of the Addams Family TV set right here. That's where they performed. That's what you'd see it on the show. And then here's what it looked like in real life. And you can see, folks at home, it's bright fucking pink. And that doesn't really gel with the image of the Addamses, I guess a lot of people have. You know, like these motherfuckers, like who are dressed all in black and seemingly hate everything. Like the turbo goths, the original goths, proto goths, if you will. These two images, they clash very heavily. Nisha, would you like to explain why?
Well, if you can imagine black in black and white, it would just they would just because if the Addams Family are wearing black as well, they would literally just blend in. They'd be like floating heads.
So you need a lighter colour so the black can contrast with the background behind it. And one of the lightest colours you can get is, of course, pink, which probably has people thinking, well, that sounds like they put a lot of thought into what the background looked like. I thought you said that the reason it was bright pink and looked so weird is because the set dressers didn't give a fuck. And that's partially true because while the overall colour scheme of the set is something they paid careful attention to, when it came to dressing the set and just finding objects to put around the house to decorate it, to make it look lived in by the Addamses, they didn't give a fuck. And in fact, just grabbed stuff from other shows and put it wherever the fuck they felt like. Because the set dressers thought, well, the Addamses, they're kind of weird. So just grab anything that looks weird off another show we're making and put it in the background. We don't care. Which is why you have such an eclectic range of objects in the background of near enough every scene of that show.
Yeah, it definitely fits their personalities, I think.
It does. And like, even though the pink thing doesn't match, because like one of my favourite sight gags in Addams Family is Morticia cutting the heads off of roses.
Yep.
Like, they hate pretty things. They hate anything that is considered beautiful by modern standards. And I think it does suit the personality of the Addams Family, that their house was decorated with a bunch of objects people thought looked cool, even if they didn't match or make any sense. Because that sounds like something they would do.
Yeah, it sounds like they wouldn't give a fuck. They just put anything anywhere. Yeah, and like the uglier the better.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they did. They went out and they found like the ugliest, most disturbing, crap-looking props they could possibly find. It's like that scene in Ant-Man. Do you know when he goes to his daughter and gives her the toy, and it's that fuck ugly rabbit? And she's like, it's so ugly, I love it. It's like that.
He's so ugly. I love him.
Oh, I love the Addams Family. So Faraway Nisha, continuing the conversation of more thought going into something than people might necessarily expect at first glance. Can you confirm, as an editor for this channel, for the folks at home, that quite a good deal of work goes into making these videos, contrary to what the very Spartan set and bare bones nature of the things that go on might suggest?
Yes, because I know it looks like you don't use the green screen because it's still like very visible. We still use the green screen because we have to put the images behind you and then the text as well.
And again, it probably sounds weird to hear us saying that. We use the green screen all the time, while folks at home can clearly see the green screen not being used, given that you can see the fucking edges of it. But even in shots like this where we're not using it, like using it in air quotes, it's still being used like to centre me, because sometimes I accidentally stand like this off to the side.
Yeah.
And something that you can do using the green screen is move me back to the centre, like so. But then if I step back to the middle, you can correct that using the green screen. And that's something you never notice.
And also, depending on what sort of t-shirt you're wearing, we have to decide, do we like make it see-through? Or do we make sure his arms are still intact? You know, there's big decisions to make.
They are big decisions, and that is something I let the editors decide on the day. So for folks at home who've watched a lot of this channel, who've maybe wondered, why do some green t-shirts interact with the green screen, other ones don't? It's because the editor decided that they should or should not that day. It's entirely up to them. But there is like a lot of work that goes into these videos like that wouldn't necessarily be obvious at first glance, and that's really funny to me because we deliberately make these videos look bad, but then go to great efforts to make sure they look a specific kind of bad.
I think the most work that goes into videos is the fact-checking and getting the images and the video clips. I think the editing side is kind of, because we can set templates where we can just apply effects, so it takes like a few minutes to do the green screen stuff usually. The audio as well, we have to make sure your audio is level, so you don't like peak or be too loud.
If I get too hyped during a particular moment, if I happen to be talking about Metal Gear Revengeance or Transformers Devastation, it happens. But just the one that gets me is like when I look at the raw footage for these, because I have to like, I guess we could pull back the curtain on this because we record remotely, hence Faraway Nisha. I have to get all the footage on my computer and upload it, and then you guys download it and edit it as and when you feel like.
Yeah.
I look at the raw footage, I'm like, I look fucking rough in every single one of these. I don't know what magic you do, so I don't see what I see on my computer. Or maybe it's because I'm looking at the raw footage which is blown up on my monitor, and everyone else is watching it as like, you know, a YouTube video on their phone. But I look so fucking haggard in a lot of them. Like, oh god, it's almost like I woke up half an hour ago for a lot of them.
It's also, I think, your own worst critic as well. I see pictures of me or video footage of me, and I'm like, oh god, I look awful, and everyone else is like, you look fine. You look fine.
Nisha.
Like, I not noticed you looking tired. So
Nisha, are you aware of this thing called the internet? Earlier in this video, I mentioned that every time I ever post a selfie, even ones I think I look good in, I'll get people going, you look like shit in this. It's like, okay.
It's so harsh.
I thought I looked alright, well fuck you. I'm crying. I'm crying. It's so
don't
fucking...
cry.
No, I mean like, because I'm laughing. I've been like giggling under my breath for about 10 minutes and it's starting to catch me off. So, yeah.
Oh no.
A lot of work goes into fact theme videos, even if it doesn't look like it. And I didn't spill my coffee.